successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price. As the auctioneer, I'm going to be simply indicating bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and will provide fines for this conduct. The rules permit vendor bids. The words I'm going to be using during the auction to indicate I am making a bid on behalf of our vendors are simply vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, ladies and gentlemen, can be placing those vendor bids. Now, our settlement terms are 30 to 60 days as preferred by our sellers, and a 10% deposit is payable today if you end up being that lucky and successful purchaser. I do ask as well that if you are the successful purchaser, please have your phones handy, so we can speak to you at the conclusion of the auction, and Audwin and Raymond or whoever needs to speak to you can speak to you about the digital signing of the contract and making that deposit, of course, payable. Now, folks, there's a couple of ways we can bid at the online auction here today. I'll brief you on the two methods. You can bid via the audio if you like. That would just mean you need to unlock your audio. You're all muted at the moment. So at the very bottom of your screen, the very first icon in the middle is a little microphone icon. If you click that, you'll then be able to speak to me and give me your bids via the audio. Or you can place your bids via the chat box, which we probably would prefer. I'm going to give you an example of what I'd like your bids to look like. So for example, I would like them to be in full increment, exactly like that. You don't need to worry too much about the dollar sign, that's okay, but I would like the bidding to be in full increment. If you wanted to give me a bid of 10 or 20 grand over 600,000, for example, I don't want to see 10 or 20, I'd love to see 610 or 620. And one final note, folks, I would love to see your beautiful faces, because I do see your faces at an on-site auction. It's going to make the auction much more engaging. The reason why we're doing a video call auction is so we can see you and we can interact with you better. So I'm just going to call it as it is. Thanks, Ray, appreciate that. If you've got intentions of bidding at the auction, I need to see your face, please. Okay, so folks, let's get into the wonderful property, of course, on number 129 Police Road here in the beating heart of Mulgrave. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, ample car spacing, underpinning your prospective purchase of a generous 657 square metres of some of the finest soil that Mulgrave has on offer, including a 17-metre frontage. Ideally positioned within walking distance of Wellington Secondary College and the local shops, you'll enjoy a mere 5-minute drive to Waverley Gardens Shopping Centre and the freeway entrance. So location is absolutely primed, offering a functional floor plan. The existing residence features 3 good-sized bedrooms and vast living space equipped with a deep walnut, huge floorboards, gas heating and split system air conditioning. Folks, it's got all the creature comforts that you could simply desire. Covered pergola in the backyard, of course, with an abundance of fruit trees, roomy storage shed, and of course a double garage as well. Location is absolutely superb, as I mentioned before. Host of amenities literally at your fingertips. We've got an abundance of schools, public, private, secondary, primary, local and boutique shopping complexes. We've got some medical facilities, cafes, restaurants, public transport, and plenty of parks and reserves as well, which arguably makes Mulgrave one of the most sought after and in-demand suburbs in the southeastern corridor of Melbourne. And so many people are wanting to continuously park their money here just because they know the capital growth benefit is simply astonishing. But not just that, folks, you will reap the benefit of priceless family memories too. So without further ado, I'd like to get the auction underway now. I don't mind where we start the bidding. Would love to see your beautiful faces once again. Here's the opportunity for you to make your intentions known, of course, on number 129 Police Road here in the beating heart of Mulgrave. I'm going to give you the opportunity now, or I'm just going to start us off with an opening vendor bid, but I'll wait, folks. The floor is yours. The chat box is open. The audio is ready. Who would like to get things underway first? Folks, I don't mind where we start the auction. I'm absolutely in your hands now. We are quoting a very generous 800 to 850,000 for the property. So maybe something at the bottom end of the range, or I'll just get us started. Maybe a little bit shy of the bottom end of the range to see if we can spark on any of the buyers to jump in here. So I'm going to call it 3 times now, and then I'll just get things going on my end. Once, twice, third, and final opportunity. Are we done? Finished and absolutely silent? Right, no problem. Auden, what I'm going to do, I'm going to suss out the buyers a little bit here just to see if they'd like to jump in. Doesn't matter. Nissal's jumped in anyway, 800,000, which is probably going to be my opening bid anyway, Nissal. So good to see you into the auction. Welcome in here. Nissal coming in first place at 800,000. If there's any chance we can have you a camera on, that'll be much appreciated. At $800,000 above my head, it goes there. At 800,000 now, let's go $20,000 rises. Unless, Auden, you want me to go in 10s, I'd like to try in 20s initially though. At $800,000 now, let's to jump in as an absolute bare minimum here. Need 820 to jump back on top of Nissal, who's coming in first place at $800,000 now for this wonderful opportunity here in the beating heart of Mulgrave. At $800,000, Nissal in first place here. I'm going to call it 3 times. If there's no better bidder offer, I'll place a vendor bid against you, Nissal, not just to give you some clarity, but also to position the property where we can get some spirited bidding afterwards, and also to protect our vendors a little bit as well, as we have to represent them. So here it goes. Got to be quick now, buyers. Once at 800,000, twice at 800,000. Third and final opportunity at 800,000. Are we done? Finished and absolutely silent. Auden, if there's a particular number you'd like me to go to now, maybe just 820 to get Nissal back on top with the vendor bid. No problem, let's do that then. At $820,000 vendor bid, Emma, let's do that above my head, please, if we can. At 820 vendor bid, thanks, Emma. At 820, at 820,000 Nissal, it's against you. Let's go 840 to jump back here. At 820 is the offer. It's a vendor bid though, Nissal. So, Nissal, what can happen from this point forward? If there's no better bidder offer, we may just pass the property in on this vendor bid or a future vendor bid. And you won't have the exclusive rights no more to negotiate. We'll literally be speaking to every single prospective interested buyer for the property, okay? It's going to get into an auction after the auction. It's going to get messy for you. Basically, it's going to be a private sale. We're not even going to reveal the offers where they're coming from because we don't need to. But with an auction, you do know exactly where the offers are coming from. So in your best interest to bid over the top of my bid now. 820 is the offer. Let's jump back on top of this sale at 840 now. Once at 820, twice at 820, Nissal, I need to know. Third and final opportunity at 820,000. Not going to take the one just yet, but I'll tell you what, I'll meet you halfway and we'll go 10 at 30. How about that? At 820,000 with me. Auden, are you okay for that?
Yep.
At 820 is the offer. It's a vendor bid, Nissal. We can raise your bid by $9,000 to go to 830 and you'll regain that first middle position again. At 820,000, I've rejected your $1,000 increment. I can respect and understand why you've done that because your competitors are not doing that, but we're still going to be too far away from the reserve anyway. It's going to be harder to negotiate with you. We'd rather negotiate with you smoothly. So if you go to 830, we might even take a pause and see if we can pass it into you. At 820,000 is the offer. Just need to know, Nissal, if you want to jump back at 830. Need to know now. Once at 820, twice at 820. Nissal, I've rejected your one. I need 30. Bang, and there it is. At 830, good to see you back in here. Now, Auden, I'm not going to place another vendor bid just yet. We might take a quick pause before we seek some instructions, okay? At 830,000, it's with Nissal. At this point of time, I just want to give you the opportunity to hold that bid for a long time, Nissal. If nobody else is going to participate, at $830,000 now, of course, I do have a couple more vendor bids lined up. I want to let you know that, Nissal, but I'm going to refrain from placing them at the moment until we take a pause. At $830,000, it's with you though, genuine bid, and at this point of time, you do have those exclusive rights to negotiate. At $830,000 now, I'm going to call it 3 times. Buyers need to know if you're going to jump in quickly now at 840. Once at 830 the offer. Twice at 830 the offer. Third at 830 the offer. Done, finished, silent now. Auden, let's take a very quick pause for a couple of minutes, okay? Just for a couple of minutes. Thanks, Nissal. Thanks for your patience. Beautiful. Thanks very much for your patience, folks. This sale, especially to you, holding the current highest bid, $830,000. So I just want to be very clear about what's going to happen from this point forward. And this sale, I'm speaking more so directly to you because you are holding the highest bid. Our instructions are very clear, and that is that we are going to be placing another vendor bid. Now, Ash, I've seen your bid come in at $832. It needs to be in $10,000 bids as an absolute bare minimum, or I'm just going to place that vendor anyway. So, Ash, we need your bid to be increased to $840 to regain the lead. Now, I want to make this perfectly clear to you folks. Ash and Nissar, if I get a genuine bid of $840,000, I'm not going to place a vendor bid, okay? You'll basically take that opportunity away from me. And then it's going to be up to the buyer whether they're going to get the property passed into them. At this particular point of time at $830, Ash, again, I've rejected your two. I'm still going to be placing one and one more only vendor bid. And then if nobody bids over that, we're going to pass it in and speak to everyone. But you need to bid over my vendor bid to have the property passed into you at least. So I'm going to reiterate this as we're going along. It's at $830,000. It's right now, it's with Nissar. I'm going to call it 3 times. Ash, just so you're clear, I've rejected your bid of $2,000. I need 10 grand as a minimum. It needs to be $840. I'm going to call it 3 times now, or I'm going to be placing another vendor bid, okay? Once at $830. Twice at $830. Third and final opportunity at $830,000. Are we done, finished, and silent? Right, okay. Alderman, as long as you're okay for me to place that next vendor bid, I'll go ahead and do that. I know I haven't got your camera on just yet, so I just want to make sure that you are comfortable for me to place that vendor bid. Current bids at $830,000. Yep, okay, no problem. Do that, Emma. Let's go 10 grand on top at $840. Final vendor bid. No more from me, okay? No more vendor bids from me. We need 10 grand to jump back, okay? The next best bid over the top of my bid, if it's at $850, and there's no better offer, we'll simply just pass the property into you, and we'll open up that exclusive opportunity for you to negotiate one-on-one with our owners. And not only that, you will exactly know where the reserve price has been set. That is your legal rights in Victoria. If the property's passed into you, you will know where the reserve price has been set at $840,000. That's the offer right now. It's a vendor bid. Nobody's got those exclusive rights at $840. Folks, we've got to be quick to jump in here at $850 to regain that lead, and we'll just pass the property into you. If there's no better offer, I'm going to call it 3 times. Final opportunity here at $840. Once, need to know. 50. Bang. Nissal's jumped in here. Well done, Nissal. No more vendor bids from me. If there's no better bidder offer, we'll pass it into you. Ash, would you like to jump into the bidding now at 860? Or we're going to pass it into Nissal at 850. Need to know now. If you're out, just let me know that you're out by writing out in the chat box. If I haven't received that confirmation in the next 60 or so seconds, we're just going to pass the property into Nissal at 850 and exclusively negotiate with him and his parties, of course. Nissal, you're in the box seat now. You are going to get to know where the reserve price has been set if there's no better offer. So I'm going to call it 3 times. Ash, I've given you the opportunity to jump in here, or we're going to be passing it into Nissal twice at 850. I'm going to take that 2,000 or maybe go in 5s or
if it makes it easier, Ash, we can take 5,000, 855. We're happy with that, 855.
We'll go 855. They're the instructions from the selling agent, of course, at 855,000. We need to see your bidding increase to 855. We're going to reject the 2, regretfully, but we need 55, please. It'll get you that little bit closer to knowing when we're on the market or not, okay? So we need to go to 855 now to jump in as an absolute bare minimum. Ash, need to know, or we're still going to be passing it in at 850 to Nissal. Once at 850. Twice at 850. Third and final opportunity at 850,000. Just need to know, Ash, are you going to come in for another 3 grand? I need that $5,000 minimum bid to regain that first medal place again. Sorry, Nissal, bear with us. At 850,000. Ash, I'm still waiting for your confirmation. 55, there it is.
Thank you,
Nissal, sorry, Orwin, was that something I didn't...
No, I just said thank you, Ash. Yeah.
Thank you, no problem. Thanks, Orwin. We appreciate that, Ash. Thank you very much. At 855,000, we got there in the end. Nissal, let's jump back on top now at 860. Or we're going to be passing it in to Ash now at 855. There's no vendor bids, just to be clear. Next best bid's going to get the property passed into them. Or if bidding keeps going, we might even get the property on the market. At 855, need to know now. Nissal, are we in or out? Once, 60, bang. At $860,000. Ash, 5 grand to jump back, please, as a bare minimum. Nissal's coming in first place now at $860,000 now for number 129 Police Road here in the beating heart of Mulgrave. Right now in the absolute box seat here to have the property passed in. Exclusive negotiation rights with Nissal. No better offer. We're going to wrap it up and pass it into you, Nissal. At $860,000, Ash needs to know. Got to be quick. I'm going to call it 3 times now. Here's your final opportunity. Once at 860. Twice at 860. Third, final time. Orwin, what would you like to do?
No, we are still at 5, Ash. We're not too far away. We're not too far away from being on the market.
No problem, Orwin. Thank you for staying firm there. I appreciate that, doing your absolute best you can for your vendors. As you know, buyers, we are representing our sellers here as well. But by staying in $5,000 bids, we'll get to that on the market figure quicker and more efficiently. At 860, it's still with you, Nissal. Ash, we've rejected the 1,000. We need 5 grand. You heard it clearly from Orwin. We need to be in 5s as an absolute bare minimum here. Or we're going to wrap it up to Nissal at 860. Ash, let's go 4 more grand above your bid, please. At 865, we're just going to wait patiently now. Or we're going to pass it in at 860,000. Right, I'm going to call it 3 times there. Once at 860. Twice at 860. Ash, need to know. Third and final time at 860,000. Done. Finished and absolutely silent.
We just need that 5,000, Ash.
Would you like me to pass it in, Orwin, if there's no better bid?
Ash, can you confirm?
Ash, are you able to confirm with us if you're in or out? Nissal, thanks for your patience. I would do the absolute same for you if you were on this end. Not just yet, Anish.
Very close.
We are.
We need a couple more bids.
At 860,000. That's pretty clear, Orwin. Couple more bids and we may get there. At 860,000. It's our legal obligation to let you know when we're on the market. And don't worry, we'll make a big song and dance about it if we are. The bids are going to go green above my head. I'm going to start yelling and screaming a little bit. So don't worry. You will know exactly when we're on the market. At 860,000. It's still with Nissal. Ash, I need to know now if you're going to jump back in for 5 grand, because if not, then we're just simply going to pass the property in to Nissal. at 860,000. Need to know, Ash. Still haven't gotten your confirmation. Right, Ordwin, I'm going to call it 3 more times for the final time.
Can you confirm, guys, if you are in or out, but we just need 5,000 more?
That's pretty clear. The agent's giving you some very secretive information there that not many agents would usually do. So, folks, read between the lines here. We could be 1 or 2 bids away now from getting on the market at $860,000. We're not going to accept the 1 order when we need 5, correct?
All right. Let's come in the middle, 2.5. We'll take 2.5. 862
That's a fair
2.5.
compromise, Ordwin. How about that, Ash? Let's go 862 and 5 then. Let's compromise at 2.5, but we will not accept 1. Ordwin, just want to be clear on that. We're not accepting 1. We'll go 2.5. No problem.
Thank you,
Ash. Just come to the party there at 862 and 5. No problem. At 862 and 5. And I can see Ordwin ducking away in the virtual background there. So that clearly tells me he's going to go seek some instructions. At 862 and $500 now. Let's jump back in, Missile. Let's be quick. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping it up to Ash here at 862 and $500. Are we done? Are we out? Are we finished? Are we silent? At 865. Bang. 2.5 again, Ordwin. We're now at 865. Right. Ordwin, any instructions?
Okay. Soon. Where is soon?
Okay,
We're not far. We're not
at
far.
865. No problem. Let's go again at 2.5, Ash. 2.5. Let's make it 867 and 500 now. We're very, very close. Now, I know we said we're a couple of bits away, but we also chipped the increments down by half. Remember that. At 865, 867. Okay, hang on a second. Ordwin, we've got a $2,000 bid. Do you want me to accept it? At 865,000. Do you want me to take the 2?
We'll take that, Ash. Thank you.
No problem. 867. Doesn't matter. She's gone 870 anyway. Oh, hey, I apologize. I can't see you. 870 the offer. Bang! That's how you buy real estate at auction. We're at 870,000 now, Ordwin. Are we on the market now? 870 is the offer for 129 Police Road in the beating heart of Mulgrave. Missile, you're in second place. Let's jump back in here. At 870,000, Ash Sainini, you are in first place here. At 870,000, just waiting for Ordwin to reappear in the screen. Or you've gone back on top there at 872. Nice to see you there, Nisol. Welcome back into the auction. At 872,000, Ordwin, bidding is escalating here. Let's jump back now. At 872,000, Ordwin, over to you to jump back. Got to be quick now. Let's jump in, Ash. 872, it's against you. You are in second place, Ash. Right now, Missile's coming in first at 872, at 872, at 872. Ordwin, any instructions from you? Now would be a wonderful time to know. At 872,000, Ash, just bear with us, please. We're waiting for Ordwin to confirm what's happening here. But Missile, right now, you're coming in first place. Otherwise, if I don't get any confirmation, we're simply going to wrap things up and pass the property into you at 872,000. Ordwin, need to know now. Don't know where you've gone. You've disappeared from me. At 872. I'm going to call it 3 times then. Once. At 872. Twice.
Okay, this is what will happen. Okay, Fab, we'll put a vendor bid at 875.
Yep.
A vendor bid at 875.
Yep.
And then the next bid, it will be on the market.
Okay. No problem. So how about
Emma,
this?
yeah, 875, please.
How about this? In order for me to place that vendor bid, I'm happy to not place it if someone wants to place the next bid of at least 876. How about that?
Yep. All right. So whoever placed 876, it's on the market and nobody else bidding. The property is yours.
Basically, guys, you've just been told where the reserve price is before we've hit that number. That usually does not happen at auctions, I'll be honest with you. That's an incredible opportunity for you to know what's happening right now. So, if someone wants to give me 876, we'll put it on the market. Otherwise, I'll go to 875 and I'll accept 1,000s after that. Anyway, at 872,000, I'd rather you just be the buyer to place it. I'm going to give you the opportunity now before I do it myself. Once, at 872. Twice, at 872. Bang! Ash, 876. We are on the market and selling.
We are on the market, thank you.
On the market and selling now. At 876,000, you are in the box seat now, Ash, to be the successful purchaser here. At 876,000. That's the offer. In first place, Missile. Let's jump back on top of the bidding. 77. Bang, there it is. at 877,000. Now, Ash, let's go back on top now at 78. At 878,000, let's do it. Let's jump in as an absolute bare minimum. But when your competitors are going in small increments, you should go a little bit more aggressive. At 877 and 5, okay, we'll accept it. But we need to be a little bit more aggressive to have the property bought here. At 877 and 500. Nissa, what about if we go straight to 880? At 877 and $500, Ash is coming in first place here. Missile, back to you to jump in. You've got to be quick now. At 878, good bid. Okay, 500 to get on top. At 878, the offer with Missile. Ash, over to you to jump back and re-escalate things at 500. Now, no problem. At 878 and 5. Missile, let's do it again. At 878 and 5. 879 to jump back now. Let's do it. Once. At 878 and 5. Twice. 879, good bidding, Missile. Why don't we go 1,000 on top, Ash? At 879, once. At 879, 880, bang, great bid, well done. Good to see you mixing it up now. Missile, let's do the same thing by going 881. At $880,000 the offer. With Ash, of course, coming in first place. Need to know now, Missile, if you're going to jump back. And if you're out, you can simply let me know by writing the word out in the chat box. At $880,000 now, buyers, I need to know, or we're selling it away to Ash at $880,000. Right, I'm going to call it 3 times there. Once, at 880, twice, at 880, 880 and 5. Okay, sure. At 880,500. Ash, let me know what you'd like to do from this point forward, please. At 880,005, 882, great bid, $1,500 on top. Well done, Ash. Great bidding there to throw some obscure increments at your competitors. At 882,000, number 129, Police Road in Mulgrave. Let's jump back in this cell now. Got to be quick. At 882, once. Otherwise, we're selling it away now. Twice. At 882 and 5, we're still going. At $882,500. Ash, back to you now. What about 885? My goodness, bang, have a look at that. 890,000. That's how you buy real estate. $8,500 rise there. Great bidding. At $890,000 the offer. Great work. At $890,000. Ash has just gone bang, but Nissile's gone banging in as well. At 890 and 5. Where are we? Who's going to go straight to 900 now? How about that? At 895, good bidding, Ash. Love these big bids. Great work. At 895, we're speeding things along here nicely. At 895,000, Nissile, back to you to jump in here. Or we're selling it away to Ash at 895. Right, I'll call it 3 times there. Once. At 895. 895 and 500. Right, let's do it again. Let's jump back. Are you sure, Ash? You're 100% out. I love your obscure, aggressive bids here. Would you like to give it one more opportunity, Ash, before I knock it down to Nissile? Are you 100% sure? Right, okay. I think that Ash might be out then at Ordwin at 895 and 500. Ash, are you sure? I'm selling it down. What I usually do in this instance, when we've only got one buyer left, I'm going to do a countdown from 5 seconds to 0. And once we get to 0, I'm going to knock it down. So, Ash, if I don't get your better bidder offer in this time frame, I'm going to be selling it away now. Ordwin, do I have your permission to do that?
All right, Sitira and Anish, can you confirm if you are out? Sid?
Okay, so Ash is back in at 896, no problem. 896, Anish is out, no problem. So Ash, you lied to me, Ash. You were never out at 896. There you go, back in. Nissile, back to you to jump in here, which tells me that maybe one more bid might do it. 896 and 5. So, Ash, you've told me you're out before. I don't know if I can believe you a second time. What's the next move? 897, you're still in apparently. Not sure why you said you were out. You've just gone 2 more grand. At 897, at $897,000 now. Nissile, back to you to jump in now. At 897, need to know if we're going to be back in or not, Nissile. Are we out now? Once. At 897, twice. At 500, 898,000. Very quickly over the top there, Ash. Well done. At 898, at 898,000 with Ash coming in first place here. At 898, we're going to sell it away once. At 898, 898 and 500 back. 899. Where we? Have a look at those quick bids, Aldwin. Look at that. 899. Love that rapid fire at 899. Remember what I said before? Who's going to go straight to 900? We're probably going to get there anyway. At 899,000. That's the bid coming from Ash now. Interesting. You said you were out a little while ago. You've jumped back in at 899 and 5. Ash, make it a clean 900 now. At 899,900 and 500. Great bid. 1,000 on top, Emma. At $900,500. We're showing no sign of slowing down here. At $900,500. Missile, it's back to you. At $900,500. Or we're selling it away to Ash. Once. At $900,000 and 500. Twice. At $900,000 and 500. Third and final opportunity at 901. Great bidding. At 901, Missile, you're back in first place. At 901, Ash, back to you now. At 901, the offer. Let's jump back into the bidding here. At 901, Ash, are you out now? At 901, otherwise we're selling it. At $901,000 to Missile. This is the offer. Need to know it's going to be the victorious bid. If there's no better bidder offer, bang at 905. Well done. Considering that you were out a little while ago, you'd probably jumped back 10 grand here. Incredible. At 905, Missile, are you in or out now? At 905, the offer. That could be a final aggressive bid from Ash. We don't know, but maybe it might be. At 905, Missile, need to know. Once at 905. Twice at 905. Third and final opportunity at 905,000. We're selling it away now. Missile, are you out? I need to know, Missile. Are you out now? Ordwin, I've got no visuals on either camera. If I don't get a better bid, we're selling it away. I need the camera turned on so I can engage with the buyer. At 905, Ash, I'm speaking for you as well. At 905, Ordwin, I'm going to count down from 5.
All right. Kamani, Missile, are you out? Can you confirm? Can you confirm if you're out? Kamani?
Missile, are we able to get confirmation from you, please?
Can you type it in if you're out?
I need to know. At 905, the offer. Ash, thanks for your patience. At 905. $100, Ordwin.
No, we'll take 500.
Let's keep it in 500, please, as a minimum.
Yeah, not 100.
At 905 and 500 now to jump back, okay? Missile, you need to raise your bid by $400, please. At 905, it's still with you, Ash. Otherwise, if there's no better bidder offer, we're selling it away. At 905. At 905, it's still with Ash. Missile, are you in or out? Right, I'm going to call it 3 times. They're out, okay? Ordwin, happy to sell at 905 then?
Yep.
Missile, I want to thank you so much for your bidding. You've been absolutely marvellous today. Commiserations to you. All the very best with your real estate journey. The team at Win Real Estate are going to help you find an incredible home just like this. Absolutely no doubt about that. Ash, congratulations. We're knocking it down to you now. Here it goes. Once, twice, third, final time at 905,000 for 129 Police Road in Mulgrave. We're selling. Aldwin, are you happy for me to sell? We're selling, and we're sold. Congratulations. Well done and well bought at 905,000.
Congratulations, Ash.
Well done, Ash. Well done. Missile, thank you so much. You've left the meeting. I just missed you there.